Hello and welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast. This is episode 90. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else a gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Ryan Cross from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for broadcasts for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts. Bandwidth for this episode is brought to you by Patriot Patch Co. You can go on to their website, patriotpatch.co, and buy some awesome patches that are designed by yours truly. Right now, we've still got the pre-order for the I'm Your Huckleberry patch, featuring Doc Holliday from the famous movie Tombstone. If you're a big Val Kilmer fan or a big Western fan in general, you want to make sure to pick up this patch. Also, we've got these awesome spoon holsters for sale right now. So these kind of go around your neck, and then you can carry a spoon with you underneath your shirt at all times as far as your EDC kit, so you'll never be caught off guard if a pudding situation arises. So the website for that is patriotpatch.co. Today I have with me TJ and Tony. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Hey, Ryan. How's it going?
Hey, thanks for having me.
My pleasure. What did you guys do in guns this week?
Go ahead, Tony.
Oh, this week, because my week starts with guns at my Wednesday range day, I got to shoot a Dragunov this week. Guy happened to have one beside me. I walked by, I was like, hey, is that a Dragunov or a PSL? I think that's what you call them. And he was like, no, it's a Dragunov. Got it years ago. He said, go ahead, shoot it if you want. So I'd never shot one before. It was real geeky. I took some photos, posted a couple up on Simon Says Train on Instagram. And pretty sweet looking. The guy never shot a Mosin because he was telling me how hard his Dragunov kicked, and I laughed at him. And then I shot his gun, and it's awesome. So that's what I did. Oh yeah, and I shot my high point and took some pictures and posted those up on the page too, just for the internet experts to say they aren't accurate.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Did
Yep,
pretty
that
good
was
group
it.
out of that thing, huh?
Yeah, I did. Pretty good. I think it could be covered by what, a quarter?
Cool. Yeah, I didn't do a whole lot. I'm planning on just kind of safe shopping right now and figuring out my closet plan to try to fit a safe in here. So that's all I'm doing.
I'm looking at those Dragunov pictures, Tony. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've never seen one. I've always wanted one, of course. I think, they stopped importing them a long time ago?
What cartridge does that shoot?
7.62 by 54R.
And it recoils less than the Mosin?
Oh, it recoils a lot less because of the gas piston system it has.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But this guy never had one. He obviously never shot a Mosin if he thinks the Dragunov kicks.
Right. That's cool.
Definitely not an M44.
No, an M44 would probably make that dude just give up shooting.
I'm gonna say you look like a Bond villain, kind of.
Yeah, I always look like a Bond villain. Pork
Right
chop.
Yeah, I didn't do anything either, unless you count taking pot shots at squirrels off the balcony with the BB gun, which doesn't really count. But that's an excellent segue into the first product that we're going to talk about this week. This is the Umarex Colt Peacemaker .117 CO2 air pistol. I actually saw this in an ad for a local gun shop, or more like a big box store, and they had these on sale for I think it was their 4th of July flyer, and it was sale price was like $99. MSRP is $150. These are replicas of the Colt Peacemaker revolver, single action, but it's a CO2 pistol. So I thought that was kind of unique. It's got an all-metal frame, realistic revolver action. Like you insert the BBs into these cartridges that are, basically act as the chamber. So you kind of insert them in the rear and then put them into the cylinder one at a time, just like a real single-action revolver. And it does have a manual ejector as well, just like the real thing with a loading gate. And then you put the CO2 cartridge in the grip, and then you just fire as you will, and then you unload the cartridges and load them back up. And I think, let's see, how many shots is it capable of shooting on one charge? I had this written down at one time. Yep, bailed. I don't have that information right off the top, but it is pretty cool. Yeah, look it up in the manual. But the overall length is 10.75 inches. The barrel is a 5-inch barrel. It weighs 2 pounds. Of course, it's got a 6-shot capacity, and it just shoots the .177 BBs.
410 feet per second advertised.
And I don't know if you guys have any Humorex or have shot any Humorex airsoft BB guns. That company is so on point when it comes to making stuff like this. It's hard to believe. Where I work, we have HK USPs and 40. Well, I picked up an HK airsoft from Humorex and used it when I in the basement shooting at 21 feet, just getting used to the trigger pull, because it actually had the same initial double action trigger pull as the HK USP. Like pull weight, balance, everything is the same, including, and you gotta love this, the cost of the magazines were the same. It was like $30 for a magazine for an airsoft gun. I'm like, you guys take realism a little too far now.
Wow. Yeah, usually it seems like magazines for the BB and airsoft guns tend to be slightly more expensive than you would expect. Because I know I've got a they don't call it a Glock because Glock won't let them, but it's basically a Gen 4 Glock 19 that the magazines are like $35, $40 for when you can buy them for, $25 for the real thing.
Yeah, but Humorex does a really great job. I'd like to see one of these, actually. I'd like to shoot one.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I like the use of the cartridges, I guess you could say. Little hold the BBs instead. I would like to see it use pellets, because that might be a pretty cool little small game gun if you could put pellets in it rather than the BBs, but it says BB only.
Yeah, and the accuracy would be better with pellets, probably 177 pellets.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, though, that I do know that it is a smooth bore, so you wouldn't have the rifling to stabilize the pellets.
Pellet, yeah.
Well, if they could make a pellet version with a rifled barrel, then that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I know I hate doing this every time. Oh,
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
I hate
doing this every time, but in Jersey, I can't have that shipped here. It's considered a firearm.
Oh, sad
I would
day.
have to get a pistol purchasing permit if I had it shipped into the state. It would have to go through a FFL. But I could drive across the border and buy one in the store and come back with it. It's totally legal.
Well, there you go. And the good news is, for everyone that's not in New Jersey, I mean, you could buy this thing on like Midway USA right now for $99.99 and have it shipped to your door. So that's like an awesome present for yourself or for your kid, or even for your wife if she's a Western fan. So there's 2 finishes available. You can get the blued version or just the regular nickel-plated version. Both of them do have the synthetic it's just an ivory-looking grip. It's not real ivory, so it's just plastic. The grip does act as the tool to like a screwdriver. So you pop off the left grip panel, and then there's a screw in the bottom that pushes the C2 cartridge into the pin to make that seal. So you actually use that as a tool to loosen that screw, back it out, so you can pop out that cartridge and put in a new one.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, I'm glad it comes with the tool, so you don't have to dig around losing stuff. One thing to note, it does have a safety, if that's I guess important to you. There's a little safety under the trigger guard, I guess, right under the frame, under the cylinder, which most BB gun and airsoft guns usually have some kind of safety, even if the model of gun they're designed after doesn't have one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, as far as the controls, I mean, they're really authentic. The hammer has 3 distinct clicks, so you kind of do that half cock to rotate the cylinder to get those in and out of the load gate, the cartridges. The trigger brake, we don't have specific specs on it, but it's reported as being a crisp brake with no creep, just like it should. And it's got those fixed sights that, what do you call that front sight blade that's old-fashioned style? Just
plain blade, I guess.
plain blade, yeah. So I was watching a YouTube video of a guy shooting this in his basement on a rest, and he was getting pretty okay groups. I mean, they were all slightly bigger than a quarter, maybe more like a 50-cent piece. I don't know how much yardage it was or feet in his basement, but the fact that it is hearing safe and you can shoot it indoors is kind of another great thing. And then if you wanted to buy more revolver shells, I don't know why you need more. You can get those for like, let's see, MSRP is $12.95. You can get them street price about only $10 for another set of 6 shells if you want backups or extras if you're not carrying around a tin of BBs with you out in the field.
And
I guess if you just want if you don't want to take so much of a break to fully reload it every time, it'd be good to have, 2 or 3 extra sets.
really a fun thing about this was exactly what I use my USP for. It's trigger time is trigger time. I mean, and it's fun. So you take that out and you play with it some. Because people sometimes take this thing too seriously and forget this can be fun.
Yeah.
Yep, so if you're interested in that, I have the link in the show notes. It's available in multiple places. You can get it from Pyramid Air, like I said, Midway. You can probably check your other favorite online retailer that might have that too.
You can buy one for $104.98 using our Amazon affiliate link and help the network out a little bit.
Nice.
With Prime, free shipping.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure you buy that for, what is that, Amazon Prime Day on the 15th next week. You might be able to get some more money off of that too.
Huh, yeah, I didn't even actually notice that.
Yeah.
Prime Day is a one-day shopping event for July 15th, 2015 with more deals than Black Friday. Prime members can shop exclusive deals for electronics, toys, blah, blah, blah. Try Prime and get immediate access to the deals on the 15th. So it looks like you have to be a member.
Yeah, you do have to have a Prime account.
Still cool.
Yeah. So
Prime's too good not to have.
yeah, that is true. So now we got 3 very cool tactical products. We're not talking cheesy tactical. These are actual interesting rifles. Actually, one's technically a pistol, and there's a carbine in there. So we talked about an air pistol, but now we're getting to the real awesome big boy toys here. So first up, Ruger just released their SR556 in a takedown model. And you might be saying to yourself, well, that's an AR-15. Aren't all AR-15s takedown? You just pop the 2 pins and separate the receivers? Well, they've taken it a step further, and it's actually something that's very interesting, and you might just find yourself wanting one, because the barrel is takedown too, and so you can easily remove it just by sliding, moving the slider bar towards the breech, rotating the barrel, and pulling it free with no tools required. Installation is simple. You just slide the barrel into the upper and twist it until it locks, and the takedown mechanism provides a repeatable point of impact, so you don't have any zero shift since you're moving your barrel in and out of the upper receiver. It does come with a backpack, much like the 1022 takedown did. So it's a ballistic nylon case. Let's see, the stock and grip are Magpul MOE, and MOE SL is the buttstock with a mil-spec buffer tube. The sights are folding, low-profile flip-up sights. And the trigger is Ruger's Elite 452 AR trigger. It's a 2-stage. It has a 4.5-pound smooth, crisp trigger pull, and a full-strength hammer spring for consistent primer ignition, and a lightweight hammer that lets you have a 30% faster lock time over standard mil-spec triggers. The other nice thing about this is that it's not gas impingement. It's a piston setup. So they got a chrome-plated 2-stage piston with multi-stage regulator for a cleaner, cooler running and reliable firearm with superior operating endurance. And then basically if you're shooting subsonics too, that's really a nice thing to have because then you can adjust the regulator to cycle those subsonics better. Or if you want it really quiet, turn it off altogether.
Yeah, there's a pretty cool, I guess, maybe not, I guess innovation you could say, but I wouldn't call it necessarily a takedown because it's almost silly to call an AR takedown. Usually when you see a takedown AR, they come apart at the front of the upper receiver, so the whole barrel and handguard and all that kind of comes off to make you, a tiny little package you can fit in a backpack. But the way this one comes down, you still have that handguard there, so you're really only knocking like 4 inches off the end of the overall length. But I think the important kind of feature with this is they probably just kind of marketing it a little weird. They're calling it a takedown, but what they really should call it is a quick change. Pull the barrel out, throw a different barrel in. You could have, you could go from a 16-inch carbine to a 20-inch SPR kind of thing, or even they do show on their features a replaceable barrel kit, which is a 16-inch 300 blackout kit. So you could, within a matter of seconds, take your barrel off, throw a 300 barrel on.
Actually, you can take the handguard off. I was checking out the actual Ruger's YouTube channel, and they break the whole thing down into about an 18-inch package. So it all comes apart. Because I was thinking the same thing as you do. I'm like, okay, so I pulled the barrel out, so it's 4 inches shorter, big whoop. I was like, who cares? But then when I saw that, I was like, okay, cool. They can actually, it is a breakdown, and it fits into a pack the same size as the Ruger 1022 takedown.
Okay.
And Ruger is really, since Bill Ruger is no longer running the company, Ruger has picked up on ideas everybody has and improved upon them. And the one thing that, like the front sight on this thing, has both windage and elevation, so your sights just won't be off at all when you remove it and replace the barrel.
Nice.
And pretty much with the piston, they did what Magpul, what is it called? Magpul Masada, I think that's what it was called. And then I guess Remington picked it up and called it ACR. Well, they never had the swap. They said they had the ability as a piston AR type platform, I guess they would call it. It had a barrel swap ability, but they never came out with any barrels other than 5.56. Ruger stepped up and knocked it out of the park. They have barrel swaps to the most popular new cartridge out there, and it's 5.56 and 300 blackout, and for not a lot of money.
Yeah. So you're looking at an MSRP of just the takedown in the 5.56 model, and that comes with, obviously, the case. It comes with 3 Magpul PMags. That's $2,049. That might be a little steep for you, but, I mean, think about all these features, and this is kind of stuff that nobody else has really successfully commercially brought to the market yet and made it so easy and affordable. So that 300 blackout barrel, it's headspace from the factory, so it's range ready. You don't have to worry about like, oh man, if I'm swapping barrels, this is my headspace. It's going to be different. It does come with 2 30-round metal magazines that are marked AAC blackout on the side, just to help you like not confuse them with your 223 magazines. And obviously they're not. You've got your PMags, the 3 that it comes with, and then this barrel kit comes with 2 aluminum Stanag mags, so there's also that physical difference between the 2 magazines if you strictly only put the blackout rounds in these magazines. But yeah, the fact that they kept the front sight on the barrel itself, so when you can zero the barrel, I mean as far as zero that front sight with the rear, take it off, put the other one on, and you're not, that's how they keep that zero from not shifting. So that's actually really interesting.
Yeah, that's usually a kind of an issue, I guess, with takedown things, is your sight is mounted to your receiver versus, your barrel is what's moving. And Ruger, I think, tries to keep as much as they can with some of their guns attached to the barrel, because like their 1022, the sights are on the barrel, and even some of the ones like we talked about last week where the sight is further back on the receiver, it's still attached to the barrel, it's just cantilevered back. So I think they really put a lot into repeatability, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And truthfully, that $2,000 price point is about what piston ARs go for anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean they get up there.
And this one has pretty much a different trigger. I mean, it has a 4-pound trigger, 4-pound two-pace.
This way, their standard SR556 is 2049.
Say it again.
Lost TJ.
Oh man, wow. Well, yeah, as he was saying that their standard SR556, not the takedown version, that's got the same MSRP of 2049. So if you're interested in a Ruger SR556, the takedown is the same price as the standard. So that's actually kind of cool. The handguard is Picatinny, so unfortunately, if you're a Keymod fan or an M-Lock fan, this handguard does look a little bit proprietary because of the way that it's relieved at the end for that front sight and the regulator and gas block on the barrel. So you're kind of stuck with the Picatinny until Ruger decides to come out with M-Lock and Keymod handguards to replace that with. You come back, DJ?
Yep, I'm here. I think with especially with them putting Magpul furniture on here, they probably already have somewhat of a relationship with Magpul, so hopefully they get in on the M-Lock stuff. That would be awesome to lighten this rifle up. You'd have a good bit lighter takedown rifle.
Yeah, they need to come out with a MOE free float handguard. Something that comes with a barrel nut in the back.
That would be interesting.
Don't mock me. I'm serious.
Well, Ryan, they have those for the service rifle competitions. They have those handguards that have like a free float tube under them that use the standard handguards, if I remember right. Or they use some kind of other attachment system.
Yeah.
Yeah, the national match ARs. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and you can even put a mock gas block on there. Like I've even done that, taking that clamp-on style, and even though there's a low-profile gas block behind it, like further down the barrel, you just put a mock one in front of it, and you can have that handguard retaining cap, and still run, one of those two-piece Magpul handguards. It's not clean, but it works. Something else about the barrel. The 223 556 barrel that it comes with is a chrome-lined, cold hammer forged mil-spec 41B45 chromoly vanadium. Canadium, no. Steel barrel that ensures accuracy, longevity, yada yada yada. So it's got the 1/2 by 28 threaded muzzle. If you want the 300 blackout kit, the MSRP is $449, and the specs on that are it's cold hammer forged, nitrided finish, 1-in-7 twist rate, and it's threaded for the 5/8 by 24, and it comes with their Ruger flash suppressor, just kind of like that Scout style that they had on their gun sight models.
Yeah, I think their flash hider, it's not super different from the birdcage, but it has a little different, just a slightly different look to kind of give you a uniqueness, I guess.
It's the same flash hider as the Mini 14s, right? It looks like the Mini 14 Tactical or something like that.
Yeah, it's close. I see what you're saying there.
Yeah.
So not a bad deal. I mean, if you want the whole thing, so you got 2,050 plus 450, so you're looking at $2,500 for the whole set, kit and caboodle, not including tax and shipping. But ain't bad. That's definitely an interesting option. Good on them for innovating and taking that to market.
Yeah, I mean, Ruger is really stepping it up. I mean, I'm not a fanboy of anybody, but it's the more things that Ruger comes out with, the more I find out I'm kind of liking everything they come out with.
Yeah. Here's I guess a point of reference. I just looked up a standard SR556 at Impact Guns. They have one for $13.76. So imagine if they're selling that one.
Wow.
And the MSRPs are the same on Ruger's website. They should be around $1,400 retail. So that's not a terrible price, like Tony said, with pistons. That's pretty standard anyways.
Yeah, that's a good point. So you might be looking at 15, 16 for the whole kit and caboodle when it's said and done. If you can find the 300 blackout kit from a dealer at a lower street price.
Hopefully Ruger puts out those kits and puts out a bunch of other barrels for it, because I'm sure plenty of people would be interested in having you have your standard 5.56 and then your 6.8 and all that kind of stuff.
Think about it though. Who has that now, really? And for that price point of starting at $1,500, $1,400, not really anyone, right?
Right.
Right.
I wonder if they'll be available at some point in different calibers without having to purchase the 5.56 and build off of that.
Right. Yeah, something else
really
too
nice.
is, I was just going to say, they don't mention it in their specs, but looking at the photo, the bolt carrier group does look like it's kind of chromed, or it's I don't know if it's a nickel or chromed or a nickel boron finish, but it does look like it's a low friction bolt carrier group finish.
Yeah,
I think they said it was chrome. I watched it this morning. Ruger has a pretty cool channel on YouTube, and they did the takedown and they did some FYI on it. Frequently asked questions on it.
Okay, their standard, if you look under their SR556 carbine on their website, it says chrome-plated bolt, one-piece bolt carrier and extractor, rail covers, and self-case. Well, okay. So yeah, it's chrome-plated.
Okay.
Chrome-plated bolt.
And the twist rate, I don't think we mentioned that for the 5.56 chambering barrel. It's a 1 in 9 right-handed twist.
Yeah, that's a little unfortunate.
Yeah,
it can still shoot almost anything anybody shoots. 1.7.
1 in 8 is a good compromise between the two.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I say go straight old school and go 1 in 12.
Just tear your bullets.
It only stabilizes 55 grain bullets at that point, and not very well.
Yeah. Very cool. So you want to check the link in the show notes or go to Ruger.com and you'll be able to find it. So the next product we got is from Masterpiece Arms. If you don't know, Masterpiece Arms makes some very interesting pistols. Oh, they make those. What are those?
Mac 10 looking.
Mac 10, Mac 11 looking things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they got they call it the MPA 20 DMG 9mm carbine. That's a mouthful. I don't know what all that means. I know MPA stands for Masterpiece Arms. But basically what this is a carbine that takes Glock 9mm magazines. I know I have your attention now if you're a Glock fanboy. So what they did is they made a 9mm carbine based on the 930 DMG pistol, but in a full-size frame, similar to their 30 SST model. So the grip kind of looks like a Glock grip, but it's machined. It's not polymer. It's machined out of aircraft-grade aluminum. It's got nice clean lines, but it's still got some rails on there. And the stock is interesting. I mean, the stock almost makes it look like a shotgun. I mean, when I first saw a picture of this, I was like, did somebody make like an ultra tactical like Spaz 12?
Yeah, it really kind of, the profile kind of
much
does look like a Spaz 12 if you're just glancing. Until you realize it's covered in Picatinny rail and has a pistol grip magazine.
Right. So it's available in black, burnt bronze, flat dark earth, gunmetal, and tungsten. So you can get some pretty awesome color schemes going on there. The barrel is 16.2 inches with a 1/2 by 28 thread on the end. It does have a side charging handle. It's got the stock also folds to the side. It's got a scope mount and a adjustable front and rear sight. It does come with one high-capacity magazine. I don't know if that's the 33 rounder or the 17. I'm assuming it would be the 33 because that's the highest it goes, unless you get like a 50-round drum. The hammer comes with a disconnect plus original hammer. and it comes with a polymer case. Do you have anything else on this, guys?
I think it's kind of it's an interesting option, I guess, if you're looking for a 9mm carbine. There's not too many. It's not too terribly many options. I know we got the Kel-Tec and a couple others, but I really like the idea of it using Glock magazines. It's just kind of gigantic and kind of ugly for what it is. I guess when you kind of compare it to the standard, like the Sub 2000, it's a lot bulkier. It's a lot longer package because it's that I guess that Mac style receiver. It's probably 3 or 4 inches longer than the Kel-Tec Sub 2000 overall. And then a weird thing they did is they left the factory sights on it, like the pistol sights on it, but then put a top quad rail to block those sights, it looks like. So I'm not sure that those sights are even usable. They mention them in the specs, but I don't even know if that you can use them, because looking at the pictures, it's not, sometimes they'll slot that top rail to where you can still use your sights, but I don't believe that's the case.
It's not really clear whether they slotted the top rail or not, at least from the pictures.
Yeah, if you look at the third picture, it looks like they did not.
But what irks me, or I don't know, because I guess there's just a price range that you have to charge for these. But everyone who has a pistol caliber carbine, almost everyone, charges the same price as you can get an AR for.
Right.
It's like, I mean, obviously, it's the same material, size, weight, so the machining, I mean, it's going to be in that ballpark, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I guess it seems like my thinking on that is it seems like smaller operations are the ones bringing out these 9mm carbines, so it costs more whenever you're not going to sell that many. You have to make
it's
it
a little bit
worth it
more
to yourself.
boutique. I mean, they're asking 966 is the MSRP, and that's not terrible considering what some of the alternatives are, unless you're considering the Kel-Tec Sub 2000 as the direct competitor, in which case that comes down well under half of that.
Yeah, same thing with the high points. High points, Kel-Tecs, those are half this price.
Oh, we're not counting the high point carbines. We don't count those.
Then the next move up is what do you call it? Just Right carbine, and I think those are in the $1,200 range.
Yeah.
And then you
pretty
get
much
up
everything
into
else
Beretta.
up there.
Yeah, and then you get up into Beretta and that, and it's like that's just what you got to deal with.
Yeah, and the Lone Wolf is somewhere around that 12, 13, if I remember right.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the Lone Wolf and the Just Right carbine kind of excluded. My question is, why do all 9mm carbines have to be ugly as sin? I mean, they're not winning any beauty contests.
Yeah,
I mean, the function is all good, but this and the Kel-Tec and the what was that? The High Point. And there's another one, the Beretta.
The PX4.
The PX4.
Yeah, they're all not. I'm hoping that Glock's gonna do a carbine like everyone else hopes and dreams that, but I hope that they're looking at everyone else's designs and decides to make something that's refined and nice and tight and not like a monstrosity.
Yeah, Ruger will come out with one next year.
Oh yeah, I bet you they will. They'll beat them to it, and we'll be talking about it on this show, and I will be salivating from the mouth.
Did they have a camp carbine?
It's going to take magazines that I don't have.
Oh wow, you don't have P94 magazines?
No, I don't believe they would chamber it with their P94 mags, but I think they would do their SR. But even
SR
still,
20,
if you don't have an
45.
SR, if you don't have an SR 9, 40, or 45, it doesn't do you any good.
No.
I like Kel-Tec's. I guess their mission, make it available for everybody to where your 1911 or I guess your Beretta shooter doesn't have to buy a bunch of Glock mags, or your M&P shooter doesn't have to buy a bunch of Glock mags. That you can buy the M&P version, or you can buy the Beretta version, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I wish more companies would do that. That's a pretty good idea. I don't know why nobody hasn't.
Because everybody has to have an AR.
Yeah, you're right.
Something else to note is that if you wanted to get this and run it suppressed, and then maybe even get the barrel cut and rethreaded, or maybe find another barrel that was shorter to make it an SBR and go through all that red tape, the handguard is free floating, and its inner diameter is 1.57 inches. So if you've got like an inch and a half outside diameter suppressor, you'll be able to run it nice and kind of clean and tucked into the handguard. Cool. If that's what floats your boat.
I was just looking at
go ahead,
Gander
Tony.
Mountain.
Yeah.
Gander Mountain has had this for $800. And of course, they're sold out. I've also noticed that with a lot of pistol caliber carbines. Whoever has them sells them out.
Yeah. So if you are interested in that, check out masterpiecearms.com or just click on the link in the show notes. So next up, we got another tactical rifle, or actually, I'm wrong. This is not a rifle. This is actually a pistol. So
this is almost the complete opposite version.
Yeah, we went from a rifle to a carbine. Now we're talking about a pistol. CZ USA has released their 805 Bren in a pistol variant. They call it the PS1. It's a piston-driven 223 that follows the Bren design, bringing the 805 line to the U.S. for 2015. So this is legally a pistol. It's got an 11-inch barrel chambered in 223 5.56. Uses the standard magazines, the GI magazines or PMags, using the 805 Action, which is a one-piece aluminum upper receiver with a monolithic Picatinny rail. At the rear of the Action is a multi-purpose mounting point where you can put just a single-point sling system. I think it's QD. You can also order it with the arm brace adapter coupled to the rear mounting point, so you can put one of those arm braces on there. But as everyone should know, you can't shoulder those things, and if you're specifically building a SBR with a arm brace to just circumvent the ATF, that makes them all sad pandas. So don't be doing that. But if you want to use this one-handed, you can do so by getting an arm brace on there.
Yeah, proving the federal government can...
You just can't shoulder.
Well, you can shoot two-handed too, but just don't go shouldering the thing, because everyone knows that is magical when you do that.
Well, it goes to prove that the federal government can be as stupid with their gun laws as New Jersey can be with ours. Yeah. Somehow it changes into an evil assault rifle because you put it to your shoulder.
All right. One interesting note is the barrel thread is a 14x1 left hand, which I know for a 5.56 223 that's nowhere near the standard, but I guess it's probably somewhat common. I would hope to where they have adapters, because most of your silencers and stuff come in that 1/2x28, but this one's a metric left hand thread. Curiously,
is that the thread for AK-74?
Not sure about that.
Google.
AK-74 thread patterns?
Yeah. Let's see. 14x1 left hand.
Yep. Same thing then.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay. So at least it's somewhat, I guess, more common.
Standard for that category.
Mm-hmm.
The frame's aluminum, the grip's polymer, the sights, they're low profile, adjustable, but they're not flip-ups. They're much more, I guess you would call them European design. So it's got a 4 aperture rear sight, so you can change that to 4 different aperture sizes. The barrel is cold hammer forged. It's, like I said, 11 inches. The overall weight of the Bren PS1 is 6.7 pounds with an overall length of 22.75 inches. And it does have an ambidextrous thumb safety for a grand total MSRP of $1,982. So street price, I assume similar breakdown like that Ruger, you should be able to get it for, somewhere around 13, under 14 for sure, street price, I hope.
Yeah, hopefully it's somewhere down there. So it's got a left-hand charging charging handle, which I know a lot of people kind of like that because you don't have to take your hand off the firing grip to do it. You reload with your left hand and then you rack it with your left hand. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I really like it. Wish I could live in a state where I could own something like that because, yes, even in Jersey, we have a weight limitation on what your pistol could weigh for something like this, so can't have it. But it would be awesome if I lived in a free state because you could SBR it or, put that SIG brace on it. And it just seems like a really cool thing to have that I would really, really dig and go all G.I. Joe with it.
Yeah, there's a testimonial just saying that it's a little heavy without using a arm brace adapter, so they kind of wish that it came with it, and then you had the option of removing it or not putting it on there. But overall, they said that it cycled flawlessly, 200 rounds at the local range on one day. The trigger was light and brakes clean, very unusual for a brand new gun right out of the box. Said the recoil was light, due in part to the muzzle brake from the factory. Did a good job at mitigating that recoil. So it looks like a pretty awesome gun, especially if you're more interested in European design guns. You like the HKs, the MP5s. You like HK91s. This would kind of be up your alley if you are a entrepreneur or you're a enthusiast of that design.
And truthfully, you're not going to get an HK91 or any of those for anywhere near that price. As close as you can get is a PTR, right? PTR 91, PTRs are the only things selling. So this is it. This is the only game in town.
Yeah, or a DS Arms C308.
Okay.
Yeah, that gets you kind of down lower than that, but. Anyway, if you're interested, check out cz-usa.com or check the link in the show notes on firearmsinsider.tv. This has been a busy summer for me, and I haven't had a chance to really flesh out and finish some of the reviews that I'm working on, and I would assume that that's the same story for some of my co-hosts here, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so apologies for that. We've got some great stuff in the works for you guys, but just right at this time, we don't have any reviews to talk about this week. So we're just going to go ahead and skip on to the Tech Gadget or App segment. And this week, we're talking about lasers. Always a big fan of lasers in the Tech Gadget or App section. So Hogue is releasing some of their Hogue grips with laser enhancement. They call them the Laser Enhancement Grips, or LEG for short. So they won't mount onto a shark's head, if you're a fan of Austin Powers, but these lasers go onto grips for your 1911s, and also they've got a model for their Smith & Wesson J-frame round butt. So if you've got a 1911 that's a government model, or let's see, it looks like all these are government models that I'm looking at.
Yep.
You can get it in pink, kind of a coyote, an OD green, and a black. So the price ranges. If you want the black, it's $189.95. If you want the green, pink, or coyote color, it's going to be $199.95. So just an extra $10. And that Smith & Wesson J-frame is also the lower price point of $189.95. But just looking at the product, I gave you guys the specs. Just like they're kind of following the Crimson Trace model of having on the right side of the frame, just above where like the web of your hand or your trigger finger would be, right up here. It sits right above that. The button itself is right below the trigger guard. The overmolded grips have finger grooves, so it's that top finger groove that you would use your middle finger to actuate that.
Right, very very similar to the Crimson Trace. I guess they're taking that same kind of model and just putting it into their standard wraparound finger groove grips, which is pretty neat to see somebody else offering them. I'm not sure how the price compares with Crimson Trace. Never looked at their sets or, the quality. I don't know that Hogue's ever done anything like this, so hopefully they prove themselves to be good quality.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I really like Hogue grips on everything because it just kind of conforms to your hand a little bit more. It's not real squishy, but it just kind of more feels like it's, fitting to the inside of your hand, and it's got that nice tacky grip to it.
Right. It's just, I guess they decided to branch out a little bit with these laser grip styles, so that's pretty cool to see somebody else doing it, because there's not a ton of people really that offer lasers. It's kind of Crimson Trace and Viridian, and that's about it. An NC Star, if you want to go that route.
Yeah. It's about $140 price difference between Crimson Trace and Hogue.
Okay.
Crimson Trace in the low to mid threes and up.
Okay. Yeah. So hopefully they work well, and you can have a more economy option. Because I know a lot of people do like those Hogue grips as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks like
I didn't have Hogue grips.
Go ahead, Tony.
Oh no, I've tried Hogue grips, but not with concealed carry because it's kind of rubbery and it catches on stuff.
That's the reason you conceal carry it, huh?
Yeah, that's the reason. I don't like you.
You tell me every week, Tony.
Yeah. So they do come with a 3-year warranty, so that's really nice too. Because I know sometimes just electronics, sometimes there's some lemons, so it's nice to have a warranty in case you get one and unfortunately something happens with the electronics where it cuts out. One nice thing is that the grip has a user selectable intensity and 3 operating modes. So there's steady, strobe, and stealth target, which I'm assuming stealth target is kind of more of a momentary on-off thing. So if you don't want to broadcast your position or just momentarily put that laser out there, I think that's what that mode means. So yeah, I think these are pretty awesome. I mean, try getting a laser for your 1911 that's cheaper than that. That's not horrible quality exported.
Yeah, one thing you note is the adjustment screws are right on the outside, so you don't have to take it apart or anything. I know that. I mean, I guess that would be kind of counterintuitive. Take it off your gun to sight it in and make it awkward, but so it's good that they're right there, adjustable. And then it has I guess like a safety on-off switch at the very bottom. If you look at the pictures, there's a little notch close to the magazine on the right side, and that's I guess permanent on-off. So you can put it in your case and something doesn't press down and run your battery down.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty much where they have to go, so you don't turn them on and off. Now, I've taken low light classes before, but I really like to take a class to see how to actually run a laser. I fired, what is that? The small SIG 1911 looking subcompact.
The 938 or the 238.
Yeah, the one in 9mm. One of my guys had one of those. It comes with Crimson Trace, and I really had to learn how to shoot it without, pushing the front sights off target. But I'd really like to run a laser class, to see how you actually run a laser on a pistol.
It's pretty interesting. It takes a lot more, I guess, training and practice than people give it credit, because a lot of people think, oh, just put the laser where you want it, and it's kind of that way. But you also have to know exactly what your laser does at what distances and such.
Yeah, because with the Crimson Trace, they come with a DVD, but it doesn't seem that this does. But still, there's training you have to do when you get some kind of new tech, especially like this. Just because, the price point is $199, so it's less expensive than the other one. But spend that extra money actually getting a class and seeing how to run this stuff, instead of just buying it and thinking you know how to use something like this.
Yeah, take the money you saved and take a class.
Yep, and it runs on CR 2032 batteries. So it looks like it runs on 2 of them. And how you would zero it is it's got windage and elevation adjustment set screws. So it looks like a very small Allen Allen wrench that you'd actually either back those screws out or tighten them to kind of adjust the diode and where that laser is hitting. So make sure you bring a couple boxes of 45 to the range with you that day, and I guess you just kind of start walking that laser in see where your point of aim is and where the laser is pointing. So you use your sights to aim at the obviously bullseye, turn on the laser, and then try and walk the laser in as much as you can, and then shoot some groups and see if that really lines up for you. It is off to the side of the gun, so it's not completely like perpendicular with the bore axis, so I don't know how that's going to affect longer range shooting. So it might really be best suited for like within 30 feet.
That's what I've actually heard when I was listening to people, different instructors telling you how to set it up. And they said pretty much between 25 and 30 feet. And what you do is have it set on the top of your front sight post. So when you aim, you use your iron sights, and the laser's just there sitting on top, like almost like a holographic on the target, though.
Right.
And you just have that. And plus, it's a red laser, so it's not as if it's a green one that you can see further away anyway. So it's for close range.
You got to make it a blue laser so you can carve your initials into their flesh at the same time.
Zorro style, huh?
That's right. So check that out on Hoag's website if you're interested. Just a note that you can save some money by buying it on other websites. I'm just looking at Midway USA. I'm not sure if Brownells carry it. This is just the first link that I clicked on, and they have it free shipping. They don't have black is out of stock, but they've got all the other colors in stock, which is like an oxymoron as far as how things usually go. But yeah, they've got some reviews on there. Somebody saying that they sent the first set back as it didn't hold zero, but they got the second set and it worked quite well and held zero. But it's still kind of new, so they're not. They're saying that time will tell. We'll check back later on how they feel. So there might be a chance because it's kind of a new product for 2015 that you might get one that does not hold zero. That's why they've got that generous 3-year warranty on there.
Okay. Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier with the other product, you can get this on Amazon as well. $152 with free shipping.
Nice.
So we'll throw a link in the notes for the affiliate link, and you can go buy it there.
Yeah. Now, I should know this, being that I own both a government model and a commander model, even though I'm not legally allowed to call it commander, or at least Ruger's not allowed to. But will it fit a commander 1911 or a CMD 1911? I mean, they've got the same grip size.
Yeah, if the grip size are the same, I would imagine, because the only difference there is the barrel length, right?
Right.
Because then they have the officer model, which is the short grip with the short barrel.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Okay. So you might want to make note of that, and then obviously if you've got a really fancy barbecue 1911 that's got not the bobbed grip, but just kind of that rounded at bottom of your grip, that might not work very well, or you might have to do some trimming of the rubber to fit the grip pattern better. Maybe not.
Yeah, I imagine you could. I think the mounting screws are used in the same place on like the Dan Wesson V-Bob and similar stuff. I think the mounting grips are used in the same spot, so you could probably trim back a little bit of that rubber.
Cool. Yeah, this is great.
The thing is, this is only for single stacks, right?
Yeah, single stacks.
Yeah,
it looks like.
This is for single stacks. All right.
No problem. So yeah, check the show notes for that if you want to get the link to go to that, or the Amazon affiliate link. We'd really appreciate that. So that just about concludes the show. We don't have any listener feedback. I encourage you guys to leave us an iTunes review. We will be doing a giveaway here soon. Probably look for that about maybe mid-month or the end of the month for that listener giveaway. So just wrapping up, send questions or comments to podcast@firearmsinsider.tv or myself, cross@firearmsradio.tv. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review, like I just instructed you to. Check out all these shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv/iTunes. And be sure to visit the Firearms Insider website for reviews and industry coverage. Also, make sure you check out patriotpatch.co to get some awesome swag. And get off the keyboard, get outside and shoot or do something politically active. Much like our friend Tony here, who's extremely politically active. Tell us about what you've been doing.
All right. Hey, it's Be Bored with Tony Day. Let me tell you. What I did was we have a conference coming up in October 3rd. It's pretty much it's like an NRA conference, kind of Second Amendment conference down here in Jersey. I'll get more information for you next show, but we're going to have events. We're going to have Scott Bach, who is the head of the ANJRPC, which is New Jersey's NRA chapter. He's going to be there. We're going to have the pretty much Second Amendment lawyer for this state, Evan Knappen. He's going to be there. We're going to have speakers, and we're going to have different events to bring, Second Amendment personnel together. We're still doing the go to recallsweeney.com because we're still trying to recall the Senate President, the New Jersey State Senate President. And a lot is going on politically in your neighborhood. You don't have to hear all about Jersey, but you can check your neighborhood out. I spent the last week going over and trying to get more corporate sponsors for the Second is for Everyone shoots. And my next event will probably be available next week. I was speaking to them, and they had some problems with their calendar. So hopefully next Tuesday when I come on the show, I'll have a date for our next shoot. It'll probably be in September. And I also have a Second Amendment women's group. They want to actually do an event with myself. And I'd really like you guys to come out and check it out if you live in Jersey. I know a guy named Sam Asner. I'd like him to come out and shoot, but that guy seems to be really busy.
Yeah, that's right. Call him out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I call you out? Anyway, Sam never comes out and hangs out with us for really cool stuff. I'm just saying.
He doesn't hang out with us anymore either, Tony.
I think he thinks he's too good for people. Ever since he got that CZ rifle, man, he hasn't even spoken to us. One of the events we're planning on having for the Second Amendment shoots that I host is a Russian rifle night or a com-block rifle night. So if you're interested, hit me up at Simon Says Train on Facebook. You can even check me out at Simon Says Train on Instagram. I have an Instagram account where I post a lot of stuff up, or just starting to. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I do. Oh, and I have a pretty cool article on blackbagresources.com about hashtagism and guys who think they're Second Amendment advocates because they post a picture of their mosing online. Unless you join a group, unless you're active with a group, unless you're doing something, just because you're posting memes does not make you an activist. Get out and do something. And that's my preachy moment. It's boring corner with Tony Day. I know some people get bored with the Second Amendment. I know some people get bored with the Second Amendment advocacy, but if you don't work at keeping this right, you let this right go. Politicians are lazy. They're lazy. They just want to get reelected. They just want to get reelected. That's all they care, and they'll take the easy way out by blaming an inanimate object like a firearm. And if they can get soccer moms all over to say, yes, guns are bad, no one should have them, if that means they get reelected, they'll do it every time. You have to fight for your rights. Even if you live in a total redneck area or redneck state and you think no one will touch your guns, if you don't show up at the voting booth, your right will go away because no one will hear what you have to say.
Well said. Amen. And I've got a bit of a shocking statement. Your commie rifle shoot that you're getting people to sign up for, I never thought I'd say this in my lifetime, but that makes me really jealous and makes me wish that I lived in New Jersey, if that's even possible.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
No one has said that ever.
I know, right?
You could live in Pennsylvania and not that be far away, huh?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, We actually had a couple of people that drove in because I work in Trenton. This event's held in pretty much northern Jersey. The guys drove 2 hours to get there for the event last week.
Nice.
It was worth it. It was really worth it. Between the swag we got from Tier 1 Defense and from Black Bag Resources and from Springfield Armory, it was really worth showing up.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
So, hold on. I forgot. Rob Pink has also donated a book that he actually signed for the event, and that was given away also.
Yeah. You had your time allotted. You're not allowed to name drop anymore. All right. Well, thanks guys for joining me, and everyone shoot safe this week. Stay cool, and I will catch you on the next episode. So have a good weekend.
Right. You too. See you guys later.
Yep. Bye guys.